Hello, Cultuneros. Welcome back to Atleti Fanatics, and we are back with a win with 3 points and much needed 3 points, I would say, because again, Villarreal got points last night when they got beaten by Real Betis, and now we are in fourth position alongside Villarreal, with Villarreal again having a game to play. Now, today's game, again, for me, it was good, like it was decent, but I think like the last 10 minutes were like again proper suffering, and Alves could have scored the equalizer very easy if Lucas Boye, like just heads it in. It was a very easy header. I don't know how he missed it,
He had two
but
headers, I think he missed, didn't he?
yeah, we somehow survived. We literally somehow survived. But on the overall thing, I would say is like the first half was very good. We were dominant. I think we were dominant the throughout the match except the last 10 minutes, because I think the nervousness kind of like kicked in. And then I would just say this, like we had again 23 shots in this game and just one goal. Something is very very wrong at the club right now, because we are struggling for goals and they're not really coming easily. Like for the last four matches, if you look at it, we had 70 shots in total. 70 shots, and we scored
How
only
many
four
goals?
goals.
Yeah, that's
Four
not
out of 70. Now that's a very, very, very big difference. 70 shots and four goals, that's not good at all. That's not good at all. And again, Sørloth had a very, very good game for me, to be honest. Sørloth and Barrios, again, for me, were the man of the match. Barrios won it. I'm fine with it. If Sørloth won it, I would have fine with it as well. I'm fine with both of them, either of them, winning the man of the match. And a crazy start about Sørloth. He has scored 26 goals and he started 25 times. So that says, and even though like we keep saying like he's not world class, but like if he converts his chances, that start could have been much much higher as well. In 25 starts, 26 goals, good. I mean, Sørloth again, like he had a very not a good game against Real Madrid, but today he was very good. And December month, Sørloth was very good, and then starting of this month against Real Madrid, he wasn't good, even though he scored the first goal. But again, in that match, he wasn't really good. But today, he was very, very good. Except the fact that, like when he got tired in the last, he could see every time he gets the ball, he was like turning backwards, trying to rotate the game, which I think like if he just took the touch inside, could have been much more valuable. But yeah, I think it was the tiredness which kicked in. But we'll just start off with okay. Before we go on with the match, I would just say like good 3 points. Uh, Good 3 points, as in the sense like we survived.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say like Galatasaray away, not gonna be an easy game. But we're gonna get to that later on. But before we start, your thoughts, Saint Keeks, and then we'll get to the starting lineups.
Okay. I think this was a really good. I enjoyed this game for the most part. I think about, as you said, the last 10 minutes it kind of ruined it for me. But for about 80 minutes of this game, I was thinking to myself, "This is the best football we played in quite some time." Right? We're playing good football. Llorente's, like a lot of players were taking a lot of responsibility in positions that I feel like we weren't really doing as much. Obviously, this is a home game, so there's a part of it that comes into play in there. But I want to talk about, obviously, I'll talk about the individual players after this. Is just the initial thoughts. I think when you look at the general level of what we saw from Giuliano and Alvarez today, that was really good. I really appreciate that. I'm a little disappointed that neither of them managed to get the goal, unfortunately. It feel like a little bit of that comes into credence when we saw Bayana come on in the second half as well. What he gave for us in that second half, it kind of felt like, yeah, that last game with Giuliano and Bayern were kind of invisible. It's probably them just literally just being as tired as possible, because we saw them more energy, more level, nice. What did you say? It there's a lot I want to talk about with the midfield. I won't take too much on the time on the initial thing, but this Johnny Barrios duo, it's taken almost half a season to finally raise head again properly, and it's been fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. It was a shame when Johnny came off, because
No,
it
true, true. I definitely agree. For me, like like when we talked about this at the start of the season,
Hmm.
when we were doing the transfer stuff. Like our go-to midfield was Barrios and Johnny in midfield,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then Johnny kept on like getting injured, and then we had to like make some rotations here and there. Now like hopefully Johnny can stay fit, and with this Barrios and Johnny Cardoso midfield, hopefully we can continue with this. And now like like if this continues to be good, then I can say like yes, then we don't need to actually like go for that extra midfielder right now, which then I definitely agree with you. Spending 50 million on either Edison or Joao Gomez right now shouldn't be a priority right now. But again, we'll get to that as well,
We'll get
because
to that much later,
yeah,
not right now.
yeah,
But yeah, so let's start
true.
with the starting lineup. Yeah.
Let's start with the starting lineup. So were you surprised with the starting lineup, Keeks? I was a
From
bit
what,
surprised.
I think the Alvarez inclusion was a bit of a surprise because I thought if you were going to rest Bayana, rest Pubil, like what they said initially, it was rest Bayana, rest Pubil, rest Alvarez, rest these players, and then you would kind of rotating. And this was the game to do it. Not that Alaves didn't have a good game, in my opinion. They did what they needed to do in this game to try and put themselves into the thing. But for the most part, I was expecting to not. I was a little shocked to see Pubil, knowing that Jimenez is not fully fit, and you wanted him to get some minutes under his belt because he is so good in the Champions League. Um, Alvarez, I thought he was going to be on the bench, so I was a little shocked. Besides
True.
that, everything else I was expecting to see, and I was welcome to see on the pitch itself. So those two inclusions, I didn't expect. I think the Pubil one was more shocking than the Alvarez situation. I didn't mention it when I tweeted it out, but Pubil, we should talk about this actually. We should talk about Pubil specifically for a little minute. Pubil has in the past 2 months or so came out and shocked us in terms of the level that we expected from him. Not
I'm
just that he
gonna
was really
say,
good, but as a
I'm,
centre back, he has been immense, immense this entire 2 months. Like on form, he's been probably the best Spanish centre back in the league. I think
into La
maybe,
Liga for sure,
yeah, for
in
sure.
La Liga for sure. Like
And
I definitely agree. And in this, before you continue, I'm gonna
yeah, yeah,
just like play a clip of someone saying top top top. That's the kind of
yeah, 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 yeah.
performance Pubil is doing. But yeah, I don't know if I can do it or not, but let it be. I mean, you guys understood. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
continue, please.
So it does. I think last season Simeone was rotating our backline fairly frequently to get everybody comfortable with each other. There was never a guaranteed centre back pairing. Sometimes you'd have him as Longley, sometimes you'd have Longley, Lonomond, sometimes you have him as Lonomond or other players as well. And it worked for the most part when we were on our win streak. But you could see when things got tough and we were playing a decent opponent, certain players couldn't tango. And it feels like, nice, Hanko and Pubil have shown a level as a centre back pairing that I feel comfortable. If Jimenez is out and if Jimenez is there, I will also still feel comfortable. That doesn't translate for me for Lodomon, but I think as a starting backline, for the most part, this is a very good backline. However, we will talk about Ruggieri a bit later, not right now. Amada
True,
had a
true.
very good first half. Amada
Alman
had a
had a
very
very
good
good
first half.
first half. True, true. The only disappointment in the first half for me was Ruggieri, because like how can you like I don't know, like defensively, like fine, like he wasn't that good today, by the way, but
No, he
like
wasn't.
he's yeah, but he's been decent defensively in last few matches. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but today Carlos Vicente really gave him a tough time. But even offensively, he wasn't good. None of his crosses landed actually perfectly. It was all over the place, and
With
I
that,
think that's the part.
he did create 3 chances. Like so, I think he could have been more offensively capable, but he did do a decent amount for the creation. The problem is just you when Atleti as a team was like actually purring today and we were doing really good. I think nobody could really disagree that Ruggieri was kind of the weak point for our team. You know
True,
what I mean?
and like I think Ruggieri again. We're gonna talk about the left back situation coming on, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
I think Ruggieri was the only one disappointment for me in the first half.
Hmm.
Johnny Cardoso, I remember Johnny Cardoso was playing fantastic. His switch up play was very very good. I just remember like once Johnny Cardoso played a very fantastic ball to Ruggieri. Ruggieri had all the time in the world.
And he
He
misses
could
it.
have even like taken on the fullback 1v1, tried to like maybe get into the box. What he takes one touch and suddenly tries to cross, and then it doesn't land at all.
Mm.
So again, for me, Ruggieri, again, like it's not what we expect from him, and I think Atleti is getting tired of it as well. Like you don't want another Gallagher situation at the club where like you keep giving them chances and then like wait for them to maybe they can work on it. But I think Ruggieri has got enough chances, and he's not really a major upgrade on Javi Galan. Yes, it's an upgrade, but it's not a major upgrade, I would say, for Javi
I
Galan.
wouldn't really disagree in that sense. I just think that is he good enough to win us a trophy? Yes, I think he is good enough to win us a trophy. I feel the same way about Lenormand.
Mm,
Despite my complaints about Lenormand, Lenormand is a good enough centre back that you can win a trophy with him in your squad or your starting 11, in my opinion. I feel the
No,
same way about Ruggieri.
for me, he's not world class at the moment. Maybe in future
I
he can be,
feel
but at the moment,
I
no, he's
feel
not.
like when I saw that first half, though, I would say my key takeaways were we were playing such good football, but there were two places we could clearly upgrade on, and I thought it was Sørloth and Ruggieri. And that was saying, despite the fact that I think Sørloth was better than usual as in the game in the first half, but in the first half you could see times where it's like it gets to Sørloth, the play slows down a little too much. Alavés comes back into the defense. All of a sudden, the chance that we could have scored is now a much harder chance. So I say this in the context of the first half. Very good, very good overall play. I think Johnny being able to sweep up and kill any counterattacks before it happens allows Barrios to just do whatever he wants. And we saw today, if Barrios does whatever he wants, it's a really dangerous thing for everybody else on the opposition team. There's a lot of really good pressing. Almada had very many moments in the first half where you would see him press one or two players from Alavés, and they were just not comfortable building up because of it. So I think this says this is a very good rotation option. I think he's in that position where he's not quite a starter, but probably one of the first options you would choose off the bench, depending on what you need at the game itself.
And
So
talking about Almada, like the reports are saying, like he doesn't really now. It's not taking the non-EU sport at the moment.
yes, apparently he has, I believe, it's an Italian passport. No,
Yeah, I think so. So
let's wait to
maybe
confirm that
maybe
because
that saves him. Maybe
they
that
said
saves him
Gallagher
for this
had a
result.
non-EU passport in the first summer last year, and then it turned out that he didn't when we had our summer just sorry not last year last season, and then this summer here it turned out yeah it takes like over 18 months to guarantee it. So I don't know, but we'll follow up on that later. But when we get confirmation, we'll tell you. But for the most part, it seems that he takes up a non-EU slot now. D doesn't take up a non-EU slot now, and I think Molina is not going to have one in February. So yeah,
True. And yeah, I mean, like we slowly feel like like maybe building up to it something. But it's good. Maybe that can save Almada right now at Atleti. But Almada for me, he had a decent game today. Like I have nothing against Almada. Like he was good. Like he was trying to create all the chances from midfield, and it was interesting to see. Like because again he started as a left midfielder, but like he was playing much more centrally, and it was
yes, he
Cardoso
was.
who was dropping. And interesting position by Almada on that one. And again, we end the first half in a very, very dramatic manner. I mean, like shots after shots after shots. And then Tenalia was good for Deportivo Alavés, by the way. Tenalia had decent saves. Even, I think it was Parada. I forgot his name.
Yeah, yeah, it was Prada. You have
Yeah.
it right there. It's right there.
I forgot. Yeah, Parada. So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, he was the one like who actually did the goal line clearance of Thiago Almada from Julian Alvarez, and then Thiago
If
Almada.
they weren't there or their level was a little bit lower today, that was a 2-0 first half. That was a really good first half from us, I think.
True, 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 true. And then it was Giuliano, Barrios, and then Marco Beal with a perfect volley as well. One of the good volleys I've seen in a very long time. Again, that was saved by Johnny
Yeah,
Otto.
yeah, yeah.
But anyway, moving on. This guy really killed Ruggieri though, Carlos Vicente. Like for me,
He's one
like
of
if any,
he's one of the better wingers of La Liga, in my opinion.
Yeah, if anything was coming from Alaves, that was coming from Carlos Vicente.
Mm.
And he had literally had Ruggieri on the string. I don't know about Ruggieri, like, like since we're really talking about like Ruggieri, like, I don't know, he always looks tired to me. The way he, I don't know, runs maybe. Maybe it
It's
can be the
just that's just how it
fifth
looked. I
minute,
think. Yeah.
85th minute. He always looks tired to me. Whenever he runs, he always looks tired. And I think like I don't know, but again, we'll talk about it later on. Second half, we start the second half in a very, very good fashion, just the way we ended the first half. Again, Pablo Barrios in a very good position, and maybe like I think like he pushes the ball too hard, just in case for Sørloth to reach it, and Sørloth couldn't put his foot on time, and then that was a very good first chance as well. But the second one, the cross from Pablo Barrios, that wasn't a good cross, by the way. And I mean, the cross had no power in it, and Sørloth was at least 12, 13 yards away from goal. And that was a very, very good header by Sørloth. That reminded me of the Getafe game, where he did kind of like a similar header, which was perfect, spot on.
That's his job, by the way. Let me try. I can't do my best for
True,
Ricky impression, but that's what we want to see. If Solot was doing this all season, you think I would be complaining about him? I'd never complain about him. He'd be perfect. It's just like
true, true. The only
he
problem
put
right
his
now with
whole
Sørloth
body
is
behind that, and I love that. I appreciate that.
exactly, like the power he generated from a powerless cross was fantastic. And again, enough power to beat the keeper as well, and enough
Kind,
precision to put it in the bottom of the corner as well. So that was
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
very, very good goal
Poor
from
from
Sørloth.
Alaves too, because the whole of the first half they were switched on and they switched off right in. They were like, "Oh well, nothing's happening here," and you just give away a free chance to somebody in the boxes. Like I don't care how bad Solot is with his head. If you give him all the time in the world to score at the header, he's gonna score. Well, not always, but he's gonna. A Real Madrid game maybe not, but he's gonna score. So that was a little bit poor on their part, but uh, all credit to Sola. That was great body, great movements, great contortion. Get it exactly where you want it, in the right place, in the right time. Fantastic. Everything after that from Sola was not good though. I don't know what happened.
True, true, true.
He
I
had a
think like
great 60
he should have
minutes and then just
substituted. Yeah,
disappeared.
yeah. He got tired. I definitely agree. He got tired. I think he
That
should have
that's
substituted.
let's talk about that. Alvarez has played two full 90s in the past 2 months between December and January, right? I am very confused because Simeone very rarely treats a star player like this. Even if Griezmann is involved, he very rarely treats a star player like this. So I look at this and I say to myself, well, when Sørloth got very, very visibly tired right after the goal, I was like, why are you taking off Alvarez, who is literally having one of his best games in the past month and some? When Sørloth, he got his goal, nice, he's happy, let him go up to the bench, let him take a well-deserved rest. Nobody can complain about him. After that, not only do you take off Alvarez, you take off the intensity. Sørloth is now very visibly tired as well. Everything just kind of crumbles in a way that I don't really appreciate between the set of them. I don't know. The subs from Simeone in that second half
I
just
I think I don't know. Maybe he was saving Julian Alvarez for the Galatasaray game, which I truly believe because again they were like like before like when we did the preview of this game that Julian Alvarez would be rested, and it would be Sørloth and Griezmann playing up front, and so maybe for that manner like he rested him, just gave him 60 minutes, and because again I think like for me if Julian Alvarez would have stayed, there were many opportunities in the second half where I think he maybe would have scored a goal or two for sure. I really, really believe so.
I believe so.
But anyway, Sørloth was tired. Then Griezmann came on. Again, Griezmann wasn't really, I didn't really see him much, but like he was involved, but like I didn't see him much. And then again, a very, very, again, like since we're talking about the substitutions only, the 60th minute mark, Koke comes in. Giuliano comes off as well, and then Thiago Almada goes off as well with Baina coming in. Also, one more thing I really want to point, like Thiago Almada was good, like he was like we all can agree, Thiago Almada was good, but then
Mm.
the major upgrade you see when Baina walks in and like when he's up to his game, like when he's playing on his level, it's very, very different.
You
Even though
see,
Almada had a good game.
you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when Molina was having a really good game against Inter Milan, right? And then Pubil came on, and I was like, sorry, buddy. You're just not quite this level. It's like you had a really good game. He had a lot of the right ideas. He kept up ball retention, did everything well. And then Bayern came on. I was like, yeah, I'm better than you though. And, and it was just like,
Exactly,
damn, that
exactly.
that is
And
a starter. Yeah,
yeah, that's where you see the difference actually between a starter and like a substitute player. And that's like when I'm saying Thiago Almada had a very good game, by the way. Like, we're not saying anything against Thiago Almada. He had a very good game. But the difference you see when Baina walks in, like when he's on his game, like he was today for the last 30 minutes, you can clearly see an upgrade on the left hand side. You can clearly see a massive upgrade. But anyway, moving on. Again, talking about the substitutes. So Baina comes in. I really liked it today with Simeone. Like, he didn't take off Johnny Cardoso until end, and I think around 77 minutes or so.
yeah, so
But
yes.
yeah, but maybe he should have taken off Barrios, because I really believe Johnny Cardoso deserves a 90 minute, which he deserved in this match. Barrios was looking tired as well. But again, a very, very interesting change. Barrios went to the right hand side where Giuliano was playing. Barrios was playing as a right wing back after the 60th minute, which was a very interesting choice by Simeone. And then it was Koke, Cardoso, and then Baina. And for me, Barrios as a right wing back was, again, I was really keeping an an eye on him, like how he's operating, how he's doing the defensive work, and he was doing pretty good job, by the way. It reminds me of those days when Koke used to play as a right midfielder in 2017-18 days.
It does. It does remind me of that. Yes,
But
I
anyway,
would say it. All of that fun that you just mentioned, and it was like the slight nostalgia that disappeared when Molina came on. It was just like, wow, we're just conceding from this right hand. Also, the right hand side was from Alaves was pretty much non-existent because, well, their left hand, all right. Alenia was playing, and Alenia did not show up in that game, as he usually doesn't because he's not good. But I was shocked when Molina came on because it was just easy eats for Alaves, and I was just like, why did you do this to me? And why would you literally make our whole backline way more fragile for no reason?
exactly. I mean, like, like when he substituted Johnny Cardoso for Molina, I think it was for Molina, right? I think
Hmm.
like what would have been a better situation. Maybe Jimenez is not 100% fit, like you said, but again, like you substitute Roblin Oman, and then Pubil goes right back, Lorente goes up front. But like Lorente was playing as a striker, by the way, when Molina came on. So anyway, which I think like maybe makes sense, maybe, but I think for me, Johnny Cardoso deserved 90 minutes. Maybe he could have substituted Paulo Barrios, but then if you substitute Paulo Barrios, you lose that grip on the game. And so again,
Now
like
you
it,
see why
it
we
has
need a
its
midfielder again. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, true, true. It has its pros and cons. I'll just say this, but anyway, we moving on to the next one, which would be, I think the last 10 minutes were very, very bad from us, despite having all the good things. I
Hmm.
thought, and then what a shot by Baina that was, by the way. That was a very,
We
very
forgot
good
to
shot.
mention it. Yeah, great
Yeah,
shot.
that was a very, very good
Should have
shot.
been 2-0. Should have been Barry's second assist. Should have been game done and dusted.
True, true.
Uh, but unfortunate that it doesn't change how I feel though, because that after 80th minutes going on, we had made four subs. It was Koke, Bayana, Griezmann to come on, and then we made Lonomon coming on. I was a little upset with that one because we didn't need to switch to a back five against Alaves, who wouldn't really score. They had no
No,
shots on target, mind you.
we did not. We did not. I think Barrios came back to midfield, and then wait, hang on. Who did Robin Numant came for? Sørloth?
Yes, yes, he did. No, it was Molina for Sola. Molina was the last one. Molina Sola. It was Lenormand
Cardoso.
for Johnny, right? And so we
Cardoso.
switched
Yeah,
our
yeah,
back.
yeah.
So we switched from the midfield 3/4 thing that we were doing with Baena, Johnny, Koke, and Barrios,
Yeah, yeah. He
and
came for
then
Johnny. Yeah,
and we lost a little bit of strength in the 78th minute when that happened. And it was clear in the midfield because you go back to what we already discussed, which is a midfield without Johnny is a midfield that is not able to deal with the defensive errors. While Cookie is able to clean up in terms of the passing, He's not able to clean up with the off the ball stuff because he just doesn't have it, and he never really had it in his career. To be honest with you, that was never his thing. So Lunamond, to me, I feel like I've expressed enough. He is a defensive liability. Putting us into a back three by doing this was not a smart idea. Llorente did a decent enough job. Like as you see, right before that was Rebecca coming off, right? Rebecca coming on and Elenia coming off. So they were getting a little bit more pressure. Switching to a back three then didn't make sense to me. But whatever, that's what he decided to do. And then we switched to Molina. So now we're now doing a 6-3-1 where Griezmann is in the midfield and Llorente is the striker, and Molina is the furthest right, and we call it Ruggieri's furthest left, and it's just like this is a mess. We are playing 6-3-1 against Alavés, who barely score goals in the league. This is nonsense to me. Like I don't mind suffering. I mind suffering well. This was a game where if Alavés had their shooting boots on, they could have actually won the game, not just drew, won the game. That was bad from us. That was really bad from us.
I definitely agree. Lucas Boy missed a sitter, to be honest. Like that was an easy goal. Like even if he, like goes with his, like foot, he would have scored that one. I don't know why he
Yeah.
was trying to dive in a swimming pool over there. But anyway, we move on to the next one, which I think I would say Abde really gave us threats, like on set pieces. Like his set piece were very good today in the last 10 minutes. And every now and then it felt like, like maybe Alaves have something. And there was some nervousness in the stadium for the last 10 minutes. But like we survived somehow. I think you can call us lucky, whatever. But what I want to say is like good first victory of at home at 2026. Good, but just look at the stats over here. Like it doesn't really make me happy that much. When you have 23 shots and just one goal, there's something really, really wrong with you, with your game plan and everything, because that's not a good side. And like I said, like 70 shots and just four goals in the last four matches. Again,
You
those
see
are
the
worrying signs.
accuracy of our shots. Shots there. That's really bad. Mind you, Alaves had no shots on target, but ours was not particularly good either.
But again, like we're competing with a side like who is literally
In
fighting for
relegation,
relegation. I can't even see them over here right now. I have to see complete standings to look at them. There you go. They are in the relegation zone right now. So I mean, you can expect these things from them. But again, we're fighting for top four right now. I can't say La Liga because that's way gone. If Barcelona drop points today, which is very very rare against Real Sociedad, uh, then only we might have a chance with 8 points. But it's good that at least like for me, I was like, at least we can go third if Villarreal lose that the only game which they have in hand. But
it
let's
is
see.
the best option, I guess. Again,
Yeah, again, at the end of the day, it's all about like making those 2-3 extra millions. Finishing a little above the place second, third, maybe. But again, for me, I would say is La Liga done. Maybe I'm being too much optimistic right now because we have what 18 more matches to play. That's like
3 times
54
18, quick.
points.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's like 54 points. 54 points to play. So 54 points now that'll make us at 95. 95 if we win all the matches, by the way.
We're not
95
wishing all matches to the end of these games.
if maybe I'm being 95
If
points.
Hear me
If
out,
90,
right? If we win every game till the end of the season and we win the league, props. We're probably not going to, but if we do, amazing stuff from Atletico. I did not expect a team to do that. I don't see it.
what like I would see like at least more than 74, 70 points, 75 points, which we've been finishing last two seasons
I
also.
would be satisfied with an above 80 points finish. Personal.
Exactly. I'll be satisfied as well. Above 80. I think there should be a objective to finish at least above 80. And it is
Yeah,
possible. Like the only I think the two tough teams again would be Barca and Real, but come on, like we can. But not like this. Like 4 games, 70 shots, 4 goals. No, you're not
has to
doing
there
it
has
like
to be a
this.
different solution. I saw
Exactly.
Simeone mentioned or talking about Sørloth and these other things and all these great, like how great he's been in the past few weeks, and I'm just thinking to myself, as much as that is true, and as much as I think you have to give Sørloth as much of the props in the last, he's scored what 4 goals in the past month or so, something like that, 4 or 5 goals. So you give him his props, but with all due respect, we have four. We also have like 4 goals in the past like 3 4 games. This means that if this is good to you, I don't know what to tell you. Like we clearly need to do better. We have several other players who need to be able to get on the board and be able to contribute in a better way, and then not being able to be utilized in this. So that's just me. Let's talk about something else, something a little more interesting right now.
Next one we
But,
have is the transfer target. So again, so things are looking very, very hot right now between Atleti and Edison. Again,
mhm.
the Edison, the Atlanta Edison, by the way. Uh, so again, the rumors are like the personal terms are agreed with Edison. It's only the club-to-club talks which is remaining with Edison. But again, we were talking about this in the preview of this match as well. Like where we kind of all agreed, where we said
Mhm.
like Joao Gomez can be a good option if you're spending 40 to 50 million, because again, because of the resale value. If
Yes,
it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, we can again, he can
you
leave
can sell it
back to
back.
Premier League. Yeah, but right now with Edison, I mean, let's see what the fees would be and what would be the, like how the negotiations take place. But as of right now, the personal terms are agreed. Now, if I'm against it, Edison to Atleti, not really. For me, either Joe Gomez or Edison would have been fine, but I think I'm looking at the
Yeah, the
price value.
financial side.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the price value. If it's, let's say around 30 million, I'm fine with it.
Hmm.
If it's like 40, 50, then no, that's again, that's another, you're taking too much risk on that one. And it's not, for me, it's not good.
I think when you look at it's the same feeling that I have that you have, right? It's like Edison and Chao Gomez to me fix our solutions for the midfield, like very clearly. And I don't actually. I feel like this Twitter doesn't have enough wood. There's a word limit, so I can't fully expand on my thoughts there. It's like I like Edison. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think that the level that we saw today out of Johnny, um, level that we saw today out of Barrios, are you going to be able to supplant that? Probably not. For both Joe Gomez and Edison, probably not, to be honest with you. You're not going to be that good at 6. You're not going to be that good at 8 for us midway into the season. I'd be welcome to be wrong, but I doubt it. Does it make sense to pay close to 40 million, knowing full well that we don't have that much budget left for other signings that we probably may need to look at? Maybe a market opportunity shows up. Maybe for some reason Baku falls out with Strasbourg, and Strasbourg is just like, well, we'll just make back our money. We get like a really good left back for no reason. You know what I mean? These are the things that you think about when you're looking at the transfer window. I think Alemani is obviously a very good sporting director when it comes to these things. It's just it's a bit excessive. That's the only issue that I think everybody can kind of agree that. Atleti fans will probably agree that regardless of how we feel about Edison, regardless of how we feel about George Gomez, 40 to 50 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And it's a lot of money just for Atletico, especially. For a player that, even if it was Joao Gomez, I don't feel comfortable spending that kind of money on a player. You know what I mean?
I agree. Especially like with Joao Gomez, I would say like especially with the team like Wolves, which is almost going to relegation next season. And
Yes.
come on, like you can make much. You have all the cards in your hand.
Johnny
He's with the
was
team. He's with
22
the team
million.
who's going to. Johnny was, yes, I think he was around 2025, something like this. He was
Yeah.
very, very cheap,
And
and that was a
Barrios is
very
from our
perfect deal.
academy.
Exactly. So paying 50 for Joao Gomez, I think I definitely agree is not good. 50 for Joao Gomez, especially in a side where he's playing for a team like who would be relegated next season. So you have everything in your
that's
cards.
that's not necessarily his fault, but at the same time, the problem is again, you could have the best player in the world in your relegation team, but if your relegation team is asking 80 million for you, I'm not going to put it in middle of January unless I have that money. which we don't really have that money. We just sold two players for 60 million. Nice. That's our whole budget. There's no extra money on top of that. That's our whole budget. Don't spend it all on one player, please. We need a little more than that, I think. So that's all. I think we don't have too much to say about Edison. I think we'll talk about somebody else, though. A
Next
little more
one,
interesting.
which is again, like again, rumors were. I think it was confirmed by Mateo Morato as well.
Yes.
Alemany was in Paris to negotiate about Kang In Lee. Now this one, I'm all in. 50, go pay it because I'm all in for this one. Because Kang In Lee, not even like with the like Kang In Lee for me is again he was very good in La Liga as well when he used to play for Mallorca, and even when he was at Valencia as well. For me, he was very, very good. And now PSG, like he's not really a starter, but he's decent. The thing about Kang In Lee is that like he also brings in a lot of fandom from Asia,
Yes. Yes,
and
he
he
does.
can bring in a lot of fandom. He can, like he can literally help Atleti to build that franchise in Asia as well. So Kang In Lee right now would be for as a forward option is a perfect option, and I really hope it works out. I don't know if it's gonna work out this winter because PSG also know like they also know about this and they're looking to renegotiate his contract, try to like give him a contract renewal as well. It's not gonna be easy, but like for me, if you're saying 40-50 million, I'm all in for Kang Lee.
Yeah,
All in.
I think that the difference between the Edison and João Gomez of the situation is, even though this is a little less of a priority, because no, it's still a priority. We have three forwards right now. We do need another one actually. Yeah. Um, 40-50 million for Kang In Lee means not just in terms of the level that he's supposed to think, because we've seen him play for Valencia and Mallorca in the league, and if he's been good in both of them, Valencia a little less so because he was a bit more raw. He's been great in Mallorca. We were very heavily linked to him, I think 2-3 summers back. This is a player who we know what level is, we know what he can get out of him, but he is like fifth, maybe sixth choice when it comes to PSG. As a forward or as a midfielder or whatever it is, he's not really the first choice. For the most part, he's just a player who's filling in the midfield for the league, where they will focus more on the Champions League with the Doués, the Dembélés, and these other things. Because he's good enough to dominate the Liga, but for them, there's a higher level for the team. So to me, it would be easy to get rid of him in that sense, but PSG want him because of the fact that of the role that he has. But I feel a little weird because they just signed Tro from Barcelona, does the exact same thing. Seems like I,
True.
I think
And if Alemany was in Paris, like something really happened there as well. So I hope something can
maybe,
happen.
but I mean, Alemany would be familiar with him because of the fact that he would be in both Valencia and Mallorca in the past, so he would be familiar with Kang In. It's just, I think it's just a matter of if you can convince the player, we can get a deal. The problem has always been is not PSG will negotiate with a team if they want to leave for the most part. Not like Mbappe's, but like for other players they'll negotiate. But the inherent problem is, does Kangin want to leave? Does he actually want minutes? Like, are we kind of imposing our thoughts onto Kangin? I don't know, but I would like to see him. I'd love to have him here. I've wanted him before. I did a whole like thread on him. It was great, but yeah, would be great. It'd be fantastic, and especially because of the Asian market thing that Alex just mentioned. And now we can
True.
finally talk about the
I
thing
mean,
that we
that
really
can be a
want.
very, very good. I mean, imagine the friendlies we can play in Asia, and imagine the sales we can make in shirt sales in Asia.
True.
Imagine like preseason in Asia with Kang In Lee playing for you. It's profit. It's all
Hmm.
profit for you. But yes, moving on to the next one is the left back situation, which again, like this transfer window started with the priority of a left back, and we've
Hmm.
been all over the place, but instead of the left back until now. So again, the reports are coming that like we're looking for a left back because Ruggeri is not really up to the level, and Atleti is looking to sell him as well,
Hmm.
which I don't really disagree with because again he hasn't really performed at a very high level at Atleti. And for me, like Ruggeri signing was a bit of like a gamble. Like you just bet 17 million on a player. Like if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. it felt like that to me because 70 like Ruggieri, I expected a lot from him because I thought like maybe he can bring in something, but again, uh, from Atlanta, like the fans of Atlanta, they were saying like he's a party freak, blah blah blah, off the pitch stuff, and so maybe that's still in play. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and
I'm not gonna talk on that, I guess.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, like he hasn't really performed to a top level. I would just say this. So, like I mentioned, like he's not really a major upgrade on Javi Galan. Like we mentioned with Molina, Lorente, and even today Thiago Almada, Baena, it's not really a major upgrade on Javi Galan. And for him to leave in summer, again, maybe it happens in winter, which I think is very very unlikely if he leaves in this winter transfer window. In summer, it's most likely because again the players which Atleti is monitoring are Alejandro Grimaldo, and then even Carlos Romero, and then Ait Nouri from Man City, and there was one more name which was Mateus Oliveira from Napoli. Which Oliveira, like I would have preferred him when he was at Getafe, and right now he's very injury prone. I don't really like this option of Oliveira.
Mhm.
The rest three names, Carlos Romero. I mean, yes, he's in La Liga, but I think he's a bit older. Like the most, like the option I love
Nah,
is
Carlos Romero is the
Grimaldo.
youngest of those three. Those four, sorry. Carlos Romero is 24. Everybody else is above that age.
No, no, sorry. I was saying about Grimaldo. My bad. Grimaldo,
Oh,
because
sorry, sorry.
yeah, Grimaldo is almost hitting 30s. But yeah, I mean, I like the option of Grimaldo because I think he can give us good, and he can also come for almost. I think like he's running out of contract as well at Bayern Leverkusen. So for me, Grimaldo is a very very good option if we can get him.
um, Ruggieri situation. I've been a big defender of Ruggieri the entire season, and I think we can kind of see that for the most part, he does the minimum easily. He does the bare minimum for the team. He does a little bit more than that. But when you look at exceptional players on Atleti, you wouldn't say Ruggieri. He wouldn't be in your conversation. And when you look at um, fullbacks for Atleti over the years, you look at what Lucas Hernandez was doing, even though that's not necessarily his role. You look at Felipe Luis, when you look at Lodi in his first year, like these are good players. These are really good players who did a lot for us in that period of time. Chao Enrique is doing really well in Monaco as well. I don't feel the same way about Ruggieri, but I was of the opinion that given time, given effort, given thing, he would show slowly that he would be able to get to that next step. So far, he has not shown the signs of him being able to take that next step with us. If he is able to do that in Italy afterwards, I would be very happy for him. But I think the decision is made based off the amount of minutes that he's gotten. And I think he has enough minutes to show right now that I don't think you have it. I think we do need an upgrade on you. And if you were to be a substitute left back, I don't think anybody would complain. The problem is, I think that role is kind of guaranteed to be Hanko right now. If that is the case, your role has to be better as a starting left back, and we don't have that because the fullbacks are very important to Atletico. The four options that we have in Carlos Romero, in Alejandro Grimaldo, in Eid Nuri, and you call it Matias Oliveira. None are bad options. As Alex said, Oliveira has a bad injury record, so probably stay away from that, even though I like Uruguayans. Grimaldo, a little up there in age, not very good
25 million.
defensively. Hmm?
25 million. Bro. I mean, like his market value has came down.
So it has, but he has like 10 goals this season, so very funny guy, like very funny player. If you look at his goals and assist contributions, you'd think he's like a really, 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 really good like winger. Like he's not he's not somebody you'd look at and be like, yeah, this is a really good
I mean, like
left back.
if he wants to come back to Spain, I think he can be very very good because 25 million for me can give us good 2 years or so. But if
I
let's
don't
say we
I
talk about
don't view him as a
Romero,
particularly good defensive option though. Like he's not that good defensive. Carlos Romero is the best of option of the four, but he has a 45 million release clause, and Villarreal even though we had good relations with them, probably don't necessarily want to get rid of him because I think Pedraza is guaranteed to leave in the summer. So he's probably going to get his starting spot. So I don't know if he'll decide to come to Atleti when he has his spot guaranteed in his original club set for him. Been great. Can't speak too much about it. But more than that, I feel like when you look at withholders, I think Grimaldo is the only one that really strikes you as the guy who will hold with and hold with well. You know what I mean?
True. For me, Grimaldo is like the player to go to right now. Like he can fit you perfectly because again, like even today, like I think that he can do basic stuff, and then again you rely on David Hanshko to clear your miss. But I think for me, Grimaldo is a very very good option, and given the fact that like I think for even Spain, for me, Grimaldo can be a starter, but somehow he chooses Cucurella in front of him. I don't know why, but Grimaldo for me can be a very good starter for Spain.
Of the mentioned players we mentioned, Carlos Romero been brilliant all of last year and this season. Grimaldo's been brilliant for like almost his entire career in Benfica and Leverkusen. Barely gets a call up. Both of those players, like, Carlos Romero has no call ups. Grimaldo barely called up. Even Balde and Carreras, who have had a great season, same thing. So Cucurella has a grip on De La Fuente, and I'm not sure if that's a fair thing to have, but whatever.
But I would say, like, out of all these options, I'd prefer Grimaldo for sure. Like, he, again, we don't have to pay much, but it'll be a short term though, because again, I think Grimaldo would give us good 2 years maximum. That's it.
If you want a quality left back, you pay the money for it, in my opinion. And I think I would of these options, I'm not the most flattered about it, but I would choose somebody else. I would choose Valentin Barco from Strasbourg. But as me, an Argentine player who was linked to us like a while back, not recently, and has been great in the French league. But I digress. That's enough transfer talks. Let's talk about your ratings. Let's talk about
It's Oblak.
not too much to do.
Exactly. Not much to do. Kept a
6.
clean sheet. Yeah, 6. I agree. Lorente, another decent game, I would
Mhm.
say. But again, like I think he wasn't really much involved in attack that much, but a decent game. 7.
Yep.
Pubil 8. Pubil 8.
Brilliant.
8.
Same
Easy
thing.
8.
Same thing for Hanko. I think both of them great.
I
When they
agree.
needed to be shown, they were shown. When they didn't need to be there, they were there. You know,
I agree. Ruggeri,
not
for
great
me,
game.
like just because he
5.
kept, yeah, exactly, just because he kept a clean sheet, only then I'm giving him a 5, just because of the clean sheet, 5. Giuliano, good game, 7.5, I would say, decent game.
I agree.
And then Barrios, for me, it was a 9, and
9, yeah, for sure. 9 for sure.
then Cardoso, just because of that reckless challenge, which I got afraid maybe it's a red, but yeah, I'm gonna give him 7.5. Otherwise, it was a 8.
I think it was an 8. I think he was brilliant to me. I was leaning closer to 8.5, but I was like, I remember the exact challenge you're talking about, and I was like, yeah, that's your fault. You shouldn't have got that yellow. So I'm gonna keep with 8. But yeah,
Thiago Almada, 7.5 again. I think he had a good game.
I think 7. I think he had a lot of good ideas, but there were a few moments where you could just see where the pass just kind of failed. Good ball retention, good capabilities. Not quite a starter though, but great game.
True. But good game.
And
Yeah.
a little bit
7.5.
disappeared in the second half, to be honest with you.
True. He had good chances as well.
Yeah, he
Second
did.
half as well. He had a good chance as well. Okay,
Should have
next.
scored actually. That one we under the
One
keeper.
of
He should have
the
scored.
the one before the first half ended, and like the one like right after the second half.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I might. I'm not gonna go down to 6.5, but I think 7 is fair. I think you should have. You had 2 clear chances to score. Actually, I'm a little disappointed in that. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, one of those were like Barrios had a great run, and like he just laid off to
I
Thiago
think
Almada.
Alvarez and Barrios gave a little. He had enough space to score at least one of those 2.
True. Julian Alvarez, I think 7.5, because he wasn't really much involved, because I would say we didn't really create much for him today.
But what he did do, he was great. I think
What he
7.5
did
is
was
fair.
Yeah, but I think like we really wanna should talk about Julian Alvarez. I think like we are not really creating much for him. Like the only time like like we're
Yeah,
creating for him it's outside the box. And this time like Fran is not over here. Like I agree with him when he said like like we're not creating much
this
for
was
him.
a he was great today, and I still feel the same way. Where it's just like, why is he not where he needs to be? Why is somebody else not helping him out in that same position to be able to do these things? I don't know. You need to talk to Simeone though, because the way that
True,
we're
true.
treating our star boy
Yeah,
is not too
yeah.
good.
Someone needs to have a serious chat about this right now. It's been very long now. In November since he scored the last goal. It's
Yeah,
long.
it's not good.
Uh,
Sørloth probably an eight.
n- 9 with Barrios. For me,
Nah,
it was a 9. I mean, that was a great game.
everything after that goal was actually atrocious, and I don't appreciate it.
I mean, like I agree because again, he was tired. He was tired. In his defense,
Yeah.
he was tired. I can't blame him for that. But 9, a great finish. I can't take that away from him. And the only goal which gave us 3 points, by the way. But substitutes, Griezmann.
Uh,
I didn't really see him
six,
much.
five, six. I don't know. I don't remember too much of a Griezmann.
Yeah,
Five
I
probably.
think yeah, five is fine. And then
Yeah,
cooking.
no. Oh, Koke.
Like
Koke was
6.
decent. Koke did nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
6.
He didn't do
Yeah,
anything crazy, so six.
6 is fine. Baina, I would
Seven.
say if 7. True, he had a very good game. And then we comes to Robin Nomand again. I can't really remember much. 5, 6, whatever you wanna call it. And then Molina, same
Not
5.
much time, but was already very bad in that
Yeah,
limited
5,
time.
4, whatever.
Probably a four to me. You kind of
And yeah,
ruined a little
that's
bit
it.
the vibes. He's like that. So yeah.
Almost. But yeah, there you go, guys. And I think that's it. We'll see you guys soon for the preview of the Galatasaray game. And until then, let us know your opinions. Like, what do you think about the game and how differently we could have approached this, and also about the transfer rumors, which is again very very hot right now with Edison and Joao Gomez. I think has cooled down a little bit, but Edison, Kang Lee, and then the left back situation as well.
Oh,
And
we will briefly mention with Lookman, but I don't know if we're gonna follow up on that.
Lookman, I saw that like, but it's not really from a reliable source. I saw that one,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay.
where all the Premier League teams were, getting off Lookman. But yeah, I saw it, but I don't think it's concrete. But anyway, guys, do let us know your opinions, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon for the preview of the Galatasaray game, which is again important game. If we win this game in Champions League, I think top 8 is definitely confirmed.
Mhm.
But until then, Upadleti. We'll see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.